So 6 years ago today, I took the leap of faith and started my own business. With a lack of knowledge, almost no experience, and very little money. I'm 28 years old today, and I've learned a lot, okay? Mostly through mistakes, challenges, and a bit of perseverance. In this video, I'm gonna share with you some of the most important lessons that I've learned, fortunately or unfortunately, okay, the hard way. My hope and goal for this video is that you get some kind of help or perspective from this, no matter where you are in your journey. Okay, I hope this helps. Let's get right into it. So I think one of the first things I learned, and one of the things that I needed to get a grip of, is the shit eating phase. Okay, I ate a lot of shit whenever I first got started. I'm talking shit sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Excuse my language, but that's pretty much the most best way I can describe it. Okay, it's tough. I got into the pressure washing space. It's outdoor work. You're dealing with chemicals, heat, the weather. You're wet even when you don't want to be, in the freezing cold. There were plenty of days whenever I first got started where it was really tough. Okay, lack of customers, lack of equipment, lack of direction, lack of money. Your back's against the wall. You got bills coming up. You don't know what the next step is. You kind of chose to leave the convenience and the protection of a 9 to 5 job, or wherever you want to say. I was in a sales job. I was a car salesman. I could have easily stayed there and continued to be okay. But I chose to go this direction. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to kind of take control of my life. You're going to go through this phase, and don't be so turned off by the idea. Embrace it. You're going to eat shit, like I said, okay? That's perfectly okay. But guess what? It's almost never been easier to start a business in the world that we live in today. I mean, everything that's ever been done before is on the internet, it's on video, it's in books, it's well documented. Okay, you almost don't even have to pay for some of this information. Sometimes if you want to pay for even further information from a creator or a professor or a business owner, you guys can do that with almost little to no cost. Okay, you guys don't need to go to a big university to learn this stuff. It's out there. And I think what the biggest problem I see is people just don't start. That's the problem, is that no one's starting something. Everyone's trying to dance around and get their ducks so perfectly in a row before they do anything in life, where next thing you know, you wake up 5 years later and you didn't really start this business that you had thought maybe years prior. Now you wake up and you're older. That's kind of the big problem, is no one's really starting. And probably one of the things why no one's starting is because they're afraid, right? There is a shit eating phase, but be okay with that. It's okay to eat shit. If making money was easy, everyone would do it. There was plenty of days in my first year where it was very tough. I didn't know where my next dollar was going to come from. The customers' houses that I would serve, I barely knew what I was doing. I had, it was a lot of learning. There was a big learning curve involved. Okay, there was back and forth with customers. There was plants and vegetation dying and withering away because I didn't know how to properly use chemicals. There was things being broken. There was lessons learned, obstacles to overcome. This is what it's about, okay? So if you're thinking about starting a business, or you guys are in your first year and it's a service-based business or whatever business you're involved with, I would assume most of these lessons that I'm discussing are going to apply. This is the second thing I learned, okay, is that customers are the lifeblood of your business. Not new leads, not new customers, not, phone calls coming in. Okay, your current customers are the lifeblood of your business. Why do I say that? Okay, because leads come and go, but customers are here to stay, okay, if you do it right. The problem with focusing on new leads and new lead generation, you are so bound to the market, right? You have ups and downs in the economy. You have, the weather. Maybe your business has a lot to do with the seasons, like pressure washing. When it's wintertime, it's a bit slower. If you're in real estate, you're kind of really heavily dependent on the economy. Different businesses are going to change in their lead generation, just depending on all kinds of outside factors, right? But the one thing that we can control is the customers that we have already in our pipeline. And I would say in our business, we didn't really start taking off until we really started focusing on the customers that we had already in our CRM and our existing funnel, right? So what does this mean? That means getting them on reoccurring plans. Okay, getting them on contracts. We want to see our customers monthly, quarterly, like yearly at a bare minimum. The problem with a lot of these businesses, and the reason why I would assume that they might have some issues, is they're so reliant on the incoming lead. Where's my incoming lead? I need to spend money on new leads. I need my SEO to bring in more leads to my business. That way my business can grow. Like, all that's great. You need the leads and the SEO, because I don't believe you can scale to that ultimate thing that you're looking for unless you have that as well. But make no mistake about it, focusing on your current pipeline is what's going to get you through the down times. It's what's going to keep your employees paid. Okay, imagine if you go into a season where COVID, I don't know, pick anything that can happen. The economy goes to hell, right? New leads, new customers are probably going to hold back on figuring out, a service like or a product or a service that you offer, right? They might be kind of sitting on their toes, but current customers that already see the value in what you're offering, they know you, right? They have you on speed dial. You might already have an agreement with them, and they're probably going to see you this month, whether it's a service like pest control, landscaping, uh, right? Pick and choose the service. I'm kind of speaking more towards service based businesses because that's my niche, but you can almost kind of copy and paste this through. Maybe you have a product that you're selling, a tangible product. Today, our business represents about 30% reoccurring revenue, right? So these are clients that we have said, hey, if you enjoyed our service, would you be interested in us coming back out and maintaining this look for you? That way you don't have to worry about calling us back. You don't have to worry about mold or dirt or mildew growing back. You will have constant yearly cleanliness, right? We get them to agree. Now we have them on a yearly contract. And our reoccurring business equates to hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars on our books already for this year and the next year, that we don't have to start guessing when it comes to the new year. Oh, how good is this year going to be? I wonder what next year is going to be. Well, I already know going into next year, we have this on the books, right? So I can guarantee that, right? And especially if you're in this growth phase where you wanting to hire people and you're wanting to figure out like my next hire and how you're going to pay that person. Well, if you have reoccurring contracts, reoccurring revenue on the books, like for next month, you already know what's coming in. You can kind of look at it and go, okay, I already know this is coming in. So now I can kind of make purchasing decisions based on that. And this is really going to help you when you're first getting started. So yes, new leads are great. We spend a lot of money on new lead generation. But what we do when we get that lead is we do a great job, we take care of them, and then we invite them to get on a agreement with us where we see them every month. I would say lead generation got us to six figures, but I would say focusing on our reoccurring clients and cultivating a relationship with our customers is what's got us from 6 to 7 figures. Your customers are going to remember you, your customers are going to refer you, your customers are going to do business with you. And the last lesson I want to point out in this video is you can't afford not to hire somebody. This is something that penalized me whenever I first get started. And it's okay when you're first getting started in business. You're going to basically do everything yourself. Unless you have, giant piles of cash sitting in a bank and you kind of have that leverage to make hires and you're okay because your back's not against the wall, then that's different. But if you're watching this video, I would assume you don't have like 100 grand sitting in the bank, right? So more often than not, you're going to be doing a lot of these things yourselves. Perfectly fine. But as you grow, okay, it's very important to manage your expenses, keep track of your books. Like my mom always used to say, she always used to say, Austin, at what point are you going to get off the hose? At what point are you going to get off, the power washing hose? And I said, Mom, I'm making money and I don't have much expenses. I'm not hiring people to do it. I can just do it. Right. And when you think about it, in my mind back then, it's like, yeah, like I'm out here, I'm enjoying my work. I don't have to pay anybody. That's labor expense I'm saving on. I have a high paying job. That's what it was. I had a very, very high paying job. I was doing about $275,000 my final year when I was, before I got off the truck, and I had a high net profit. Okay. I was a very high paid power washer. But the problem is you need to focus on, if you're a business owner, on revenue generating activities. You can't be doing something that a $50,000 or a $60,000 a year hand can do. But at some point in time, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to grow. You need to scale. This is not something that you can continue to do forever, because it's not something you can do forever. At some point in time, you are not going to be able to stay on that truck, right? Because you're just going to be doing all the work, and then all of a sudden your customers are going to start compounding. You're going to have more and more people refer you. You're going to have more leads coming in because that's a natural growth. As your reviews grow and as your presence grows, you're going to have more people know you, more people call you. At some point in time, you're going to have to make certain hires. What I would tell you is when you can, and it's safe and you can, manage your expenses and make that first hire. If you're good at sales, hey, you shouldn't be doing admin stuff. Okay, if you're not good with bookkeeping, why are you trying to do that? Okay, get a CPA to do that. It's a couple $100s a month or less or more depending on your business, right? Get someone to do that. Pick which one that you're really, really good at, right? If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, you're probably a bit more into sales, talking to people. You shouldn't be doing the product stuff. You shouldn't be doing the operations. You shouldn't be involved in that, especially when there's people that can do that for you. You really need to be pushing your business forward. And I'm sorry, you going out and let's say mowing a lawn and coming back home, doing the work for your business, but that's not necessarily pushing your business forward. That's basically doing the work that's in front of you, right? If you're any kind of entrepreneur, salesperson, business mind, you need to go out there, actively, proactively grow your business. As soon as I got off the truck, I let everyone our guys do our work for us, and we trained them and made sure they knew what they were doing. That gave me all the time in the world to cultivate my CRM, come up with text and email campaigns to all of our customers, figure out a way to switch all these customers onto some kind of reoccurring agreement, seek out commercial, seek different ways we can optimize our and better perform in the field with our equipment and know-how and whatnot. Different systems and operations that got us allowed us to get jobs done quicker, allow us to be more profitable, allow us to bring in more revenue into the company. All of that extra stuff that I've done since being off the truck has more than doubled or tripled paid for the leap of faith that I took to hire someone to take care of our work, right? So if you're in this phase of like thinking like, oh man, like I don't know if I can afford a $30 an hour hand, like it's a lot of money, or a $50,000 a year guy, you can't afford not to do it. So I'd say that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, and it took me a bit too long to get there, almost 4 years until I was able to, or 3.5 years until I was able to hire somebody, right? But I would say these three things is what's really gotten us to where we are now, which is a 7-figure a year exterior cleaning company, right? So if you're in business, you're watching this video, you're in the service world, you're thinking about starting some kind of business, just understand that you're going to eat shit and it's okay. Get used to it. Put some mustard or ketchup on it. Okay, you'll be all right. And your customers are the lifeblood of your business. Take care of them, talk to them, treat them with respect, do great work, and make sure when you can hire somebody. Okay, you need to get some people to help you. This is what's going to take, allow you to get off of the grunt of the work in your business and actually be able to proactively grow your business. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers in 2025. That would be just amazing. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.